I'm going to do another barrel length velocity test, and I'm going to compare this Browning X-Bolt. I think this is an Ovex. It's got a muzzle brake and a 26-inch barrel. This Browning, this is really quite a nice gun. It's fairly light, fluted barrel, and I suspect it would kick quite a bit. I'm comparing two 7mm. Actually, I'll put this over here. And I'm comparing the Browning with the 26-inch barrel and a muzzle brake with this Winchester Model 70. They're both in 7mm Rem Mag. This is a post 64, probably about a 45-year-old gun. I think it's early 80s. It was 82, I think. Still pretty nice. We'll see what kind of velocity difference there is. I suspect it'll be close to 100 feet, 80 to 100 feet per second difference. We're rolling. So what I meant to say a second ago was I suspect this Browning would kick quite a bit without this brake. It weighs 8.5 pounds with the scope. And I just put the scope on. It's a scorpion venom toxin. I'm gonna dial it in at the same time, so I might shoot more rounds through this than the Winchester. I'll do a small group with a couple different types of ammo. I got Federal, non-typical Whitetail, and the blue box Power Shock. This is Venom Toxin 2 to 16 by 50. Okay. One shot at paper, 25 yards. .3,044. That's about 100 feet per second slower than the box, and we're at 3,500 feet here. So it says 3110. Usually Federal is closer to box speed than Hornady. And it should be just about perfect. 3002. Yeah, the felt recoil isn't that bad. You still know you're shooting something though. And a 26-inch barrel, then a 2-inch muzzle brake, you're getting out there with pretty long. Yeah, I'm gonna go out to 100 on steel. .3010. So I'm kind of looking forward to when the Athlon chronograms come out, the Doppler chronograms. I mean, they're gonna have to be really good to match the quality of those Garmin. Those Garmin are, they're so easy to set up. They're not picky. Getting slower, and that one was lower. I want it like 1.5 inches high, about. Guns that are fairly flat like this with 150 grain, fairly flat out to like 400. I like to zero them at 250. That was the traditional way of doing it. What the old timers used to say with 30-06, if you zeroed it at 25, it would be zeroed at 250. But it's more like if you zeroed at 50, it's zeroed at 250 or 200. Maybe it's 200. That one went way up. It's just a little bit faster. Huh. 2970. Better let that barrel cool for a bit. I'm just going to fire 2 out of this one. One of each ammo. That one's 2962. And that was this whitetail stuff. I have noticed that. I think I noticed that another time that this non-typical whitetail was faster than the blue box. Yeah, so that was 2892. All right, I'm gonna fire another one. $28.85. So I definitely notice that this one kicks more, even though it's a heavier gun, without a brake. The brake makes a big difference. I can feel the percussion or the splatter. They both have decent triggers. I think this one, the trigger, had some trigger work to it. Trigger work done to it. Okay, now I'll do a different group here. Okay, you can't top load the mags on these, like some of the newer guns, the CZ. You can like fill the magazine from the top. CZ 600s and CVA. So we'll go in the house and I'll do a trigger pull test on these. Talk about them just a little bit and go over the numbers. Doesn't like to focus on that, but you can tell. So that's average of the first 6 shots with the Browning, 3007. That was all Federal Blue Box. The Winchester averaged 2913, so almost 100 feet per second slower, but I shot 2 out of the Blue Box and just 1 out of the slower, I think. One of them was slower, I can't remember which one. No, the Whitetail. Non-typical Whitetail was faster. 2885 and 2892 and then 2962. So that 2962 was definitely out of the white non-typical. So that, depending on the ammo, you're either looking at about 100 feet per second a little bit more than 100 feet per second slower out of the 24. The last ones with the Browning average 29.93. Yeah, so okay, let's start off with this Winchester old Model 70. Nothing in the chamber. Oh. And we'll see what kind of trigger pull it has. And it's 3 pounds, 6 ounces, 0.4. And as far as the trigger itself, it's, okay, there's no creep, single sage, crisp, a tiny bit of over travel, which over travel isn't, I mean, very little, and it's not bad. So 3 pounds, 6 ounces, that's decent for a hunting rifle. Now, a big complaint about these Brownings is that this is a Browning Gen 1 X-Bolt, that the triggers cannot be adjusted light enough. Again, there's nothing in, and they have a really nice smooth action and short bolt lift. They come in true short action and long action. They used to come in micro actions to 22-250. Okay, so I'll just do this first. Okay, so there's no creep, almost no over travel, and it's not. It might be a little bit heavier, but the big complaint is that some people say they can't get it down under 4.5 pounds. This has not been adjusted, and it's 3 pounds, 13 ounces. That's from the factory. Now I have a few of these. This isn't mine, but 3.5 pounds, or just over 3. I think I got one that's like 3.3 pounds, 3 ounces. Do this one more time. Yeah, it's noticeably a little heavier than that Browning or that Winchester. So that was 3 pounds, 10 ounces. Not terrible, but it's definitely a nice crisp trigger. I like it. Like the magazines on these, I think they're the best magazine. Pops in nice. I'm pretty impressed with these guns. Now this one, personally, I wouldn't want to hunt with that break. Being a 26-inch barrel and then another 2 inches, 28 inches is just too long for me. And then the break itself, unless you always have really good ear protection in, like the silicone things, they're excellent. You're risking ear damage, or if there's other people beside you. So scope works good on this gun. So pretty happy. I think the owner of this gun will be very happy with this scope combination. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with that old Winchester. It shot good too. I would go down and show you the groups, but there's a lot of holes, and I probably don't remember which ones were which. Okay, thanks for watching.